So I guess I mean, as you guys do look forward, is it is an extension for Mike something that's important to get done, before the start of camp in what, 8 weeks or so?
Yeah, it's crazy. Is it really 8 weeks? Yeah, I think it's obviously important. You look at collectively from an organization, from Mark, West, Jamie, Mike, Peter, myself, Bud, partnering, working together, some pretty high level goals over the last 3 or 4 years of retaining our talent, building an organization that has sustainability, compete for championships. The things that we've been able to do, having the most regular season wins, the most playoff wins, 2 Eastern Conference Finals, an NBA championship now, Giannis deciding to stay with us, Chris deciding to stay with us, Atwari and Drew. That's not me. That's not Mark, West, and Jamie. It's not Peter. That's not Bud. It's us. And doesn't mean that we're going to do it again next year or that we'll ever do it again. But collectively, I think we've proven that we can work really well together. We can accomplish big things. We have a mission. We're all pulling in the same direction. And Bud's an incredible partner, someone that I want to work with for as long as I possibly can. Our players want to work with, and our ownership trusts in and believes in. And so that's the goal. Absolutely. And obviously we haven't done it today, or maybe probably won't do it tomorrow, because Bud and I are partnering and we're trying to figure out the team. We figured out the draft. We're happy with what we did there. Now it's all hands on deck trying to figure out free agency when that opens up on August 2nd and try to figure out how to put the best team we can together for next year.
You mentioned obviously the extensions and the guys who chose to stay. So your hands are a little bit tied at what you expected in terms of financially, and with the exceptions that you do have. And I think PJ's Bird writes, I don't know if aggressive is the right word, John, but can you be aggressive with those exceptions, or is that kind of something where you have to wait to see how things shake out? And since there are obviously factors there you can't control with what other teams can do and offer, and what player made, you know what I mean? How do you kind of view what you have to work with and what you could do with it, I guess, since it's kind of set to a degree?
No, it's definitely set. And that's okay. Wes Eden, was talking to him the other day, winning a championship has a cost, and it has a roster cost and it has a flexibility cost. And that's okay. It's our job to continue to maneuver and manipulate and figure out the best thing we can do with what we have, the resources we have at our fingertips. We don't have a lot of them in free agency. And so, we're meeting right now. My staff's meeting. I'm going to break from this. We're going to meet again. We got to get ready for free agency. We got to figure out how we can use the avenues that we have. We got to figure out who we think will be available. We have to really study the market, where we think it's going to go. We have to study who we think could fit on our roster. If we can get someone on a minimum, if we can get them on part of a mid-level, get them on the full tax team mid-level. If we can use our bird rights players, there's different things that we have to figure out how to do. And I don't know if it's aggressive or patient. I just think when it's appropriate and when you're able to start negotiating, you're able to start recruiting, you got to be prepared, and you have to have your top level options and your secondary options, your tertiary options, and be ready to move and pivot as quickly as possible. That's what we're trying to get ready right now. And when we can, we'll start tackling it. And I think, there's always been confidence, Jim, in this is what we want to do. If we can do it, do it. And if we can't, then let's try to work for the best option we can. And a little bit full circle back to Eric's question earlier. I don't know if we got the maximum value we could have for 31. I know we didn't get the worst value we could have for 31, but we got the value that we needed for the Milwaukee Bucks for 31. And I think we take the same approach in free agency when we get there as well.